different people, and that they are all so strong. They just like push through every day, and so that's kind of how the name "I Love the Way You Lyme" came to be about, because it's like I love the way that you're handling this disease.
Okay, the intro is the worst part to me because I don't know what to say.
Oh, okay.
So let's just start. So I got together like your posts for the week to share your page and like what you're all about. And I was reflecting on how you were like the push to getting this podcast to start. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
Yeah,
but
I love that.
I was talking to you about like the Artisan Collective initiative and like trying to figure out what I was going to do with it, where I saw it going. And you're like, well, have you ever thought about doing like a podcast? Because then they can share their story. And I'd thought about doing a podcast, but for some reason I didn't like link that I should interview the people that I'm wanting to hear from.
Yeah.
So you encouraged me to start the podcast, which I am very thankful for.
Yay.
Because that's why we're here.
I love it.
And then also, you were like one of the OG I Love the Way You Lyme people, because you were there from pretty much like the start, right? When we had met.
Yeah.
I don't even think we were like an official nonprofit yet. It was just like
No.
getting the idea out there and stuff.
I remember going to see you speak, gosh, in Nashville. I don't even think I Love the Way You Lyme was started. Remember you spoke at that, I don't even remember, some building I went to see you. I barely knew you. And I went and I was in the audience there and you were speaking for something. And do you remember that?
Okay, so was I wearing like a dress?
I don't know what you were wearing. I remember you were sort of nervous. And
Oh
you
my
got up
gosh.
there.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I
You
know
were
what you're
so
talking
brave.
about.
Yeah.
Yes. You
Hmm.
were, okay, I talked
You
about this
might not
before,
have
like,
known I was there because I came in the back and I just wanted to hear you and support
I
you
don't
there.
know
But
if I remember you. No,
yeah,
I don't know
I
if I
was there.
remember that.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is so nuts. My memory is so bad, but I remember that day because I actually was so sick that morning. I had been
Okay.
up since like 2 or 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
and that was like one of my first times really presenting anything
Right.
for I Love the Way You Lyme, and I was so terrified, and I swear it was all God that I was even able to like get up there
Yeah.
and not like really feel the pain or anything. That's so cool you were
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I have like footage from that day, but I won't use it because you can tell how nervous I was.
I think it's beautiful though. I love that. Because like
Uh,
you did it scared, and I think that's
mm,
important. You know, you still were
yeah,
there and went up, and that's so brave. Yeah.
that's so funny. And then I was trying to remember, like, we had the I Love the Way You Lyme event, but then at some point
Hmm.
we had the first get together at your house. Remember you invited like me and a couple girls over, and we walk in and there was a
Yes.
sign. I was gonna post the sign. It said like, "Welcome, I Love the Way You Lyme sisters."
Yep.
And it was
Yep.
so funny because I feel like I had the idea, but I didn't know what it was going to become. And I remember like you saying certain things and then seeing that and putting the get together where like you helped kind of me to see what it could be. If that does that
Yeah.
make sense?
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. That was
That
really
was fun.
special. I love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of us really knew each other yet, and you were the catalyst to kind of pull us all together. And like we all lived here in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
but you were the one to come and just kind of bring us all together, and it was really, really powerful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like sitting on in your living room, just like talking. I remember I was about to go to stem cell, and there was like a couple girls who had done
Hmm.
stem cell, and then like
Yeah.
everyone was just sharing their stories. What a like And my mom, I remember my mom sitting there just like
I love
soaking
your
it all
mom.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And what a special thing to like be able to be in community with people who get like what you've gone through and what you're going through.
It's everything. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we can all speak to each other in a way that no one else can. And I think
Mhm.
that's a gift we have, you know, not just for
Mhm.
Lyme, but for other people who are in pain, you know. It's like they're going to listen to us and in ways that no one else can, and we'll hear from them in ways we can't hear from anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you are as I put it.
Sorry, I asked my husband to get me tea, and he
Oh
got
no,
me
that's good.
this
That's
weird mug.
it's cute. Is it a gorilla or a monkey?
Yeah, because we call each other like, oh my gosh, it's like we are like pet name for each other. We've been married 30 years, so we call each other Monkey. So we bought each other. Yeah. So
Oh, I
anyway,
just noticed the arm is the handle. That's
yeah.
wicked funny. So I about wrote about you online as you're a wife, a mom, a photographer. I
Mhm,
see you as like I want to say mentor, but I like the big sister idea better because that's how I felt when I first met you.
mm,
Like you just felt like a older sister kind of figure to me.
yeah.
Um and I totally see you being that in other people's lives too that like we both
Mm,
know. And you've always been a huge encouragement to me like in my walk with Lyme and then also my relationship with God I think is really
mm,
cool.
mm.
Can you tell me a little bit about just tell us about yourself and then who you are and then we'll get into like your Lyme story after that.
Sure. Yeah. I think bigger sister than mentor because it makes me feel younger. No. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Samantha Bean, and I am years old. No, I'm 51 years old. Um, and I have been married for almost 30 years to my best friend in the entire world. Such a gift. We've been through
Mm,
it all together.
mhm.
And I have two amazing sons, and they're 21 and 24, and they live close by, which is such a gift. One is in college still, and one is living in a house with five guys in a cul-de-sac.
Nice.
Um, and he's a computer coder. Um, and yeah, my husband and I are photographers here in Nashville. We have our main business, which is the Visual Reserve, and we shoot just advertising, commercial stuff, music, you name it. And so for that company, I produce the shoots and I help run the business. And then I also have my own SamanthaBean.com, which I think you have linked, and it's just I love taking pictures and just like telling stories
Mm,
through my photography and video. So it's sort of like a day in the life of type of thing when I go and shoot a family or a person. Um, I like to share their heart and soul, kind of pull that out of them rather than just
mhm.
like a regular family shoot. Um, so, and we just started painting. We just like to do all things creative.
That's so
So we
cool.
we just we're kind of approaching empty nesters. My son's on campus at college, but he bounces back. So we
Mhm.
uh, are almost about to be empty nesters. So we're starting to yeah, we just started painting, abstract painting. My husband just put out an album randomly.
What? I didn't
um,
know that.
yeah, I'll have to
That's
share
so
it with you.
awesome.
But so yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so I knew you did your photography, and then I remember you telling me something about you guys having a studio, but I didn't know. So that stuff is under Visual Reserve, you said?
Yes, visualreserve.com. And so it's
Okay.
way different than my stuff. My stuff is he's the main breadwinner, let's just put it that way. And I do the little stuff on the side. And so I yeah, like we run that business together. And then
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
yeah. So we do like you'll see like everything except weddings pretty much. We've done
Yep.
a few
Okay.
weddings, but yeah, we do it's always something different. Like one day we'll be shooting like, you know, this wild musician and the next day it's this like corporate, headshot,
Oh my
and it's
word.
one day shooting for a catalog here. So it's so many different people, so many different things. You never know what the next day brings. The next call can like change your whole next month, and we love
Oh
it
my
that way.
gosh.
Yeah,
Okay, can I link that to your page so people can
yeah,
follow that? Because
totally.
your like I love your photography. To me it feels like your Samantha Bean page like really homey and
Hmm.
intimate almost like in a nice
That's right.
family way.
Yeah.
But then one of the objects of like having each artist or creative share their story is connecting like okay so you're a photographer but then also you help produce these shoots or whatever role you're able to play for that shoot or you want to play,
Yeah.
while also having Lyme. And so let's talk about your Lyme story and then we'll come back because I want to know what it looks like for like whatever symptoms you have, how
Yeah.
you do those shoots. Because when I was thinking you just did photography, in my head, I'm like, I wonder if she just like reschedules if she's not feeling well. But then if you
Hmm.
have these shoots with your husband where it's like they're in the calendar and ready to go, I
Right.
don't
You have
know.
a whole
I just,
crew.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, people relying on you. So let's talk about first, like when you got diagnosed and then what that looked like and kind of like how long things have been and then also your symptoms.
Okay. So yeah, it was about 2014, and I didn't really know much about Lyme disease at all. And so we were just going about with life. Life was good, and life still is good. But and I all of a sudden I started getting these like it felt like an ice pick being just in my brain, like over and
What
over.
the heck?
But it was random, so it would just come and then go. And so I kind
In
of blew
one
it off. It's
spot or all
in
over?
all like different places each time.
What?
So it takes a lot for me to get to the doctor because I
Okay.
don't go to the doctor. So
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, this is just random. I don't know what's going on. But throughout the week, more intense, more intense. Um, and so I remember being on a photo shoot and just first it was just like the ice pick, but then it was like my whole body just started feeling horrible. I'm like, what is going
Whoa.
on? We were shooting, I remember I'll never forget that day, like for a local brewery or something. And we were in this place where he was making the beer, and I don't know, it was just this weird. I was just like, I gotta get out of here. um
Whoa.
so so um I went home that day, and I remember just thinking, what is going on? And I was noticing my face, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my face just feels weird. And it just started sliding, sliding. And by the end of the night, half my face completely paralyzed.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I should go to the, the doctor now. It takes a lot for me to get in there. So I went to a walk-in clinic and told them what I was going on. And they're like, you need to go to the hospital because you could be having a stroke, you
Oh
know?
my word.
But my husband, I remember being at home, my husband's like, you have Lyme disease. And I was like,
What?
what is even Lyme disease? Like,
Where's he from? The North?
I mean, yeah, but he didn't know much
Oh,
about Lyme. I don't know
okay.
why he thought that. Like, these aren't typical Lyme disease, you know, symptoms.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the Holy Spirit telling him that because when we went to the hospital, we asked for a Lyme test, which we wouldn't have if he hadn't said that.
Wow.
But let me go back. I forgot one thing.
Okay.
um, 4 months prior to this, I remember getting a weird bite on my leg, and it was like not your typical red ring. It was like a bruise, but still kind of a ring, but a bruise. And I remember
Okay.
texting it to my friends who lived in the country. Hey, what is this? Like, do I need to worry about this? I
Mhm.
feel fine. I felt fine. And they're like, no, no, haven't really seen it because it wasn't your typical red ring. So I just blew it off. So then fast forward to
Mhm.
4 months later. So yeah, so then they checked me into the hospital, wanting to
Okay.
make sure I wasn't having a stroke because it seemed like it could have been with the paralysis and
Yeah.
the head pains and stuff. So they check me in, and they're doing all these tests, and my husband's like, check her for Lyme disease.
Wow.
Um, so I ended up having shingles in my ear, which was causing the sharp stabbing pains in my head, and
Oh.
Bell's palsy in my face. And those two together are called Ramsay Hunt syndrome. And it's common with people with Lyme to get Ramsay Hunt syndrome. Um,
Oh.
hmm
So
So,
it's a combination of shingles and Lyme?
well, no, it's a combination of shingles and Bell's palsy, and that's a
Oh, sorry.
symptom
Yes,
of
and
Lyme.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which is weird. I think I'm not sure because I'm not a doctor, but I think something about the shingles in your ear hits a nerve that causes the facial paralysis,
Whoa.
because it's in my ear and then it causes your face to. Oh, and I have a picture just for reference.
Oh,
So
yeah.
tell me if you can see this, just so you can see how crazy it was. So yeah, so can you wait? It's kind of,
Okay. You know what I'm gonna have you
What should
do?
I
I'm gonna have
do?
you send me that image and
Okay.
I'll edit it in. Yeah.
Okay. So,
So in it, that's the picture of like that night.
so that's the picture of that night, yeah, and then, so I didn't know what to do because my eye wouldn't shut, like,
Oh my
it's you have
gosh.
no yeah, and so you'll see in the picture, the second picture I sent, I put cotton balls on my eye and then used just, like, tape I had around the house so I could keep my eye shut because it had gotten scratched because it wouldn't close. I had to manually go like this to get it
Wait,
to have tears.
could you still see out of it?
I could see out of it, yeah, it
Like
just
I'm trying
wouldn't.
to like picture what that's like not be able to close it. Cause wouldn't it get wicked dry?
That's why. Yeah, so I kept going like this. So I was like, "Okay, I just need it to stay shut, but it won't stay shut." So you'll see in the picture, I put cotton balls and just taped it shut because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, um, and then like to drink, you can't drink. It was crazy. And some people, because of course I research it, which is dangerous to do with all of this stuff, researching it online.
Yeah.
Don't suggest it. But I did. And some people never get their face movement back.
No way. Isn't this what recently like that video of Justin Bieber
Yeah,
when his face wasn't that what he had the Ramsey?
he did.
Wow.
Yeah, he had that. And it doesn't always mean you have Lyme disease, but it is one of the symptoms. You'll find a lot of people with Lyme disease. That's how they find out. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, they put me on, because I had shingles, they put me on like Valtrex, prednisone, uh, doxycycline, everything at once to try to get my face back and the
Yeah.
shingles gone. And then the Lyme test came back, and it was just the generic hospital Lyme test. So which
Yeah.
we with Lyme disease, no, you can't really always trust that, but it did come
Mhm.
back positive, which is rare.
Interesting. I wonder if it's
So
because you had just gotten the bite 4 months
4 months
prior.
prior.
Yeah.
So, and then I eventually got the IGeneX test to confirm,
Okay. Yep.
So IGeneX is the place where you want to go for that. But
Mhm.
so then they sent me home, and here I was, still had shingles, face paralyzed, just diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I'm laying in bed thinking, what in the world,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
is this my new normal? Because
Yeah.
I couldn't I couldn't even watch TV because of all the pain in that one eye. I could just lay in bed. It hurt to move. Shingles
Wow.
is very painful. And I remember just laying there going, Lord, what in the world, And I was kind of saying, like, um, to him, you start to ask the whys. I think maybe a lot of
Yeah.
us with Lyme, ask why. And then after like a week of laying there, it turned to, instead of why God, it turned to, Lord, what can you say to me today in this stillness and in this pain that you couldn't say to me last week or last month
Mm.
because I was so busy. I was going through all the, just doing life. What can you say to me today in this? And it turned
Yeah,
out to
that's
be
so
a
true.
really sweet time where the
Wow.
Lord just poured into me, and life changing. Like I said this before, but like I look back at that week with fondness when I
Mm.
was laying
Mhm.
there, the worst pain ever. And it's just
Mhm.
so interesting. Yeah. So that's how it
Wow.
started. And so the paralysis went away after about 2 weeks. And I would say I have 95% of my face back. Still,
Mhm.
sometimes I notice this eye blinks a little slower than the other one, but I would say
Okay.
I'm healed from it.
Yeah.
And the shingles, of course, went away, taking all that stuff. And then so now I'm left with Lyme disease. Um, and what that looked like for the first, gosh, 4 years or so is I would, we always have, or I always had some sort of pain going on, but then I
Yeah.
would have these flare ups
Yep.
where I wouldn't be able to move one part of my body, and I would have to walk with a
Wow.
cane or something like that, and I would never know when they're coming. So what I did for the first 4 years is whenever these would happen, it's not just a flare because we have flare-ups that just you're in pain, but you can still function. These were flare-ups to
Yeah.
where I wouldn't be able to, like move my neck,
They're like
and then it would move.
debilitating.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would go on doxycycline, which I hate
Mhm.
that I did that, but I would go on it for like 3 weeks. It would
Okay.
knock it out, and it would help me to be good for the next, I don't know, year. Then I would have a
Wow,
flare up.
really?
It was this thing that I would do.
I think for me, a big part of Lyme is trying to figure out what causes me to have pain,
Mhm.
like what foods, what smells, what I'm doing. And so in that process, I would have these huge flare-ups. But after 4 years, I kind of was figuring out what caused them.
Mhm.
So I stopped having them. Like I haven't had a huge flare-up where it caused me to like not be able to use a part of my body
Mhm.
in like 4 years.
Wow. Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I mean, I
so
still
good.
have, yeah, like I still have pain and stuff like this, but it doesn't knock me out,
Yeah.
where I'm like, where I have to use a cane because I did have to use a cane for a while, and stuff like that. So I think it was just a matter of I figured out what was causing it. Certain foods for me
Mhm.
and things, really random things like, I know this might sound crazy, but like dryer sheets
Oh, wow.
and really toxic smells would put me into a flare up.
Wow.
Like all of a sudden, yeah. And strong perfumes,
Okay.
I'm around people that have really strong perfumes. It's like a heightened sense of smell.
Whoa.
Um, yeah. And then for some reason, just would make my body lock up
So,
and certain foods and stuff like that. Yeah.
so you like for the most part know what to avoid to get away from the big flare-ups, and then what are like I guess like the leftover symptoms, or I feel like the reason I'm asking this is because I was just talking to my friend the other day. We were having dinner and she has Lyme, and she her and I are both at a similar place where like we're fine. We have different symptoms, but you learn how to manage. So it's like maybe you don't take as many of your meds, or like you just kind of get a little bit relaxed, maybe too relaxed. Cuz you're just
Hmm.
used to living with these symptoms. So do you have symptoms that these are your really bad symptoms and then these are just like your everyday the leftovers, or however you want to call them?
Yeah. I would say nowadays, my really bad symptoms is like joint pain
Mhm.
and fogginess. Another thing that I found causes flare-ups is if I do too much,
Mm.
and I let my body just get depleted.
Yeah.
So like if I have an event to go to at night or something to do at night, I pretty much have to rest that day.
Mhm.
And so it's a change of lifestyle for sure. Um, if I go to stuff in the morning, if I have a photo shoot, I'm not doing nothing else that day,
Mhm.
because when I was pushing myself and go, 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 because on days when we feel good, we want to push ourselves
Yeah.
because we're like, I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all the things. And then I would have flare ups. And so I've really learned this pacing of my life, which honestly has been a gift
Yeah.
because I think so often in life we go through our days and we're just going, 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 and we never stop to reflect. We never stop. Like now, say I'm going out at night, I have to stay kind of relaxed that day, so I
Mhm.
have time to like pray about what's going on that evening. Even I have time to read. I have time to just reflect. So I think it's been a great thing, honestly.
Yeah. Wow. And then what's like on a good day, do you still have symptoms? Like you said, on a good day when we want to push ourselves, like do you still have symptoms on
Mhm.
that good day?
I do, but very light. Like I have other things going on. Like I have a rod fused to my spine
Okay.
because I had scoliosis when I was younger. So I have pain from other things, and I
Yeah.
broke my pelvis 2 years ago. I broke my
Oh
pelvis.
my word.
So I have stuff from other things. So sometimes it's hard to know like
Yeah.
what's Lyme and what's
Yep.
just getting old and what's from my spine not being able to move.
Mhm.
I know that that causes a lot of problems. So, um, but the past 2 years have been the best. physically. And I
Wow.
think it's due to just knowing those things, slowing down, knowing what to stay away from and knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And it takes time,
Yeah.
though, to figure that out,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. And then, okay, so with that being said, when you do have like a photo shoot, you said you'll just take it easy or whatever. What have you done? I guess one of the questions in my head that I've had for like different people who are creative but have Lyme and still have like the pain or symptoms is going from it. If there's people who want to pursue a passion or whatever, I want them to feel encouraged to still pursue that passion,
Mhm.
even if they have the pain or
Yes.
symptoms, and at what capacity. So, does that mean for you like moving gigs around, or sometimes you just go and like do the gig and you're in pain? Like, where's your mindset if you do go and do the gig? Like, how do you get yourself to do it, I guess?
Yeah, I would say the back in the days where I would not be able to move a part of my body or have to be with a cane, yeah, I had to cancel things
Mm-hmm.
often. But now, if it's body pain, joint pain, where I can still move, sometimes I'll reschedule.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, like I feel like I have learned how to live with pain,
Yeah.
and so if I have a lot of pain one day, I'm like, okay, I can sit home and I'm going to be in pain,
Mm-hmm.
or I can go on a photo shoot
I
and I'll be
know.
in pain,
Yeah,
So I'm but
exactly.
like, I want to live my life. And so I have learned, because at first it's like when you're in pain, you're just like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do anything. I'm just going to be here and I'm going to be miserable.
Yeah.
And I'm sad I'm missing out. And it was like, it was a
Yeah.
spiral. And so I'm like, okay, I can sit home and be mopey and be in pain, which some days I think you need to
Yeah, I was
do.
gonna say
Some
some
days
days you
it's,
have to just like let yourself.
you have to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like many days,
Yeah.
But I think after a while, if it's a chronic condition, there has to be a time where you say, okay, I'm gonna start going out and doing some things in pain.
Yeah.
And you find when you do that, sometimes the pain, you know, takes a back seat and you don't
Yeah.
even focus on that because you're with friends or you're working and stuff. But I think it is a balance. I don't want to say go,
Yeah.
go, go,
Yeah.
because I think there's a necessity to let yourself rest
Mm-hmm.
and heal. So it's a mix. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because I think it's neat that you like have the history you do with Lyme. You have like these dreams and passions and you're still doing them even with the pain. And I think that's like I don't want I feel like I talk about the pain a lot. Maybe it's just in my own life, but I want people to feel like that how you said you can just lay there and feel like there's no end to it, or you didn't say that, but you know what I'm saying. Sorry, my brain's so
Yes.
foggy. You can just feel
Yeah.
mopey like it's never going to end, basically.
Yep.
And like I think back and I'm like, what was my turning point where I started having less of those days and more
Hmm.
days choosing to do what I love? And I don't know what the answer is because I still have the same pain I did the whole time. But I think one of the things that I've been coming down to is I think it's like a mindset, and it's not that the mindset takes away the pain, but if you can
Right.
like find a way to just choose to like do things that make you happy and or even like rely on
Hmm.
God. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but I just think it's really cool that you continue to do those things even though you're in so much pain. And probably something that could be frustrating is you don't look like you're in pain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's how we all are, I
Yeah.
think, with Lyme. That's a frustrating thing
Yeah.
for sure. But I do
Um
think it's important, like to, you know, one thing about Lyme is, so it makes us, I think most of us, more compassionate,
yeah.
and makes us, I don't know, introspective and thoughtful. And so I think when we're my fogginess just
I know it's so crazy.
I don't know what I was
You
saying.
can be on a trail and then it's like this cloud comes
Yeah.
in and you're like, "Where am I?" And then you
Yeah.
feel
Well,
yourself.
plus with these things, I can't hear myself,
Oh
so that's
yeah.
much better. But
Yeah.
I think that, um, yeah, there's such, basically what I'm saying is that
Mhm.
there's such beautiful things to come out of Lyme. And I think it's so easy to focus on the negatives and the whys and the things you're missing out on. And like, why do I have to be in pain every day?
Mhm.
You know? And, and it can be, um, we can get in this just downward cycle. And I think that it's important. Let yourself do that. Let yourself feel the weight of it, because it is hard and tragic and sad.
Mhm.
But there's a point where, with chronic pain, um, say, okay, what's the beautiful things about Lyme? Like, I have a friend who has
Mm.
cerebral palsy, and she
Mhm.
says, I have the gift of cerebral palsy.
Whoa.
And I was always like, what? And until I got Lyme disease, I didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
But I get it,
Yeah.
like, there's beautiful things that, like, I wouldn't have experienced or known had I not have Lyme disease. I
Yeah.
would be a different person.
Yeah, I completely
And
agree with that.
yeah, and like, as a Christian, it makes me it makes me daily needy
Yeah.
for him. And I've found that my neediness for him is my strength. Like, I'm
Mhm.
glad I'm needy every day for God,
Yeah.
because when everything's going good, and you lose that, and there's something just holy and beautiful about that.
Mhm.
That is a gift of Lyme.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I don't know if
Yeah.
you think about this, but when my pain is like really bad, or I feel like I'm like getting at my wit's end, or it's like a bad flare day or whatever, I like think about more recently, I would say the last couple years, maybe even just last year, of like what heaven's gonna feel like. Like, I just like
Mhm.
remind myself that this isn't like it for us. And
Yes.
I think for me, I don't know what it's like to go through this without God. I know that when I was like away from Him and just kind of like trying to live my life on my own, I still knew who He was, and it actually made me really angry for a while because I was like, how could I like know who He is and He's like allowing me to live in this pain? But then once I kind of hit my deep end and then circled back around, now it's more like I feel like, yeah, like you said, it's a gift. It's like you can see things a lot differently. And then also, it just gives me hope that whatever people are suffering here, like this isn't it and this doesn't have to be it
Mhm.
if they
Yes.
like believe in God. And for me, when I like hear about people not believing in Him, my first thought is like, but how could you think that this is it? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how,
Totally.
if this is it and
Mhm.
my whole existence was just to like, for most of it, or not most of it, but a lot of it, to like live in pain and suffer, and same
Mhm.
goes for like other people and their suffering. I don't know, like I just don't believe that like that's the end of the story. And so I found
Yeah.
whenever I'm having like really hard days, if I can think about like what it's going to be like in heaven when I'm just like at peace, it just also just gets me so excited for like that's it. And I believe
Yes.
I choose to like still believe that I could be healed and not have the pain like here on earth. Obviously, I'm not like
Mhm.
I'll never not have pain. I think that it's hard to find a balance between having that hope of never being in pain, but and then also
Mhm.
like reality, if that makes sense. Um
Mhm.
And I think the balance that I want people to find with this whole thing is like hearing people like yourself who have pain and have like symptoms from Lyme and have the journey they do, still pursuing their passions and and
Yeah.
choosing to do those passions, and then also not continue to choose healing and like find the treatment for you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You don't have to settle,
Yeah.
but then also like just
Yep.
keep pursuing healing, but then also like keep pursuing your passion. That's a hard balance to find. Sometimes when you're treating,
It
it's
is.
hard to like remember that there's like life outside of just like waking up and taking your pills every day or like going to treatment.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's easy to live in a, well, someday when I get healed, or when I,
Mhm.
and miss out on today, like the life you're given today,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that, I do think it teaches us to, like, there's a Bible verse that says, Lord, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom,
Mm.
and I think Lyme disease helps you number your days, and any sickness you
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
it just keeps in your head, hey, this isn't it,
Yeah, yeah.
like there's more to come. And so I want to make the most of every day, whether I'm in pain, whether I'm not in pain, whether I'm, you know, rich or poor, whatever it is. I want to, Lord, what do you have for me today? What do you want me to give this world today? You know?
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't matter like pain or not. Like I want to be here, like
Mhm.
loving on people and letting him move through my life. And I think sometimes, um, for me personally, uh, I think having Lyme disease is, I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but it's like, it has been a gift to me, like I said before,
Mhm.
because I think it's kept me close to him. I think
Mhm.
I could go my own way very easily,
Yeah, yeah.
and go off the rails. And I think it's kept me tight to him. So I feel like, wow, thank you, Lord,
Yeah.
and it's, you know, yeah.
There's more I want to
Would I choose it? Would I choose it this way?
Yeah,
No,
no.
but
Obviously not.
if it could happen another way, but I think there's some things that can only, um, happen through pain,
Yeah. Yeah.
and be developed through pain. So anyway,
I still have more to ask you, but I just want to say I appreciate you like coming on the podcast and also letting us like share your story and what you're doing on I Love the Way You Line, because I know that it can be hard like to put yourself out there and like almost like in a vulnerable position to share. Like we talk about it, maybe it probably to others it seems freely, probably just because we're really comfortable with each other and we know what
yeah,
each other are going through, but it's not an easy thing to like just sit and talk about like the journey you've been through and the pain and the symptoms, and like it's not easy to think about it, but I really appreciate you sharing like your story and being willing to share, because like it's going to help other people see that they can do it, other photographers or people who want to produce shoots or people who want to get married and have kids, like you know what I mean,
yeah.
there's so much, like you are a mom and you had to show up in ways, and you're like your wife and you had to show up in ways. What did that look um like having, so how old were your kids when you got diagnosed? I'm trying to think, because it was 2014 and that was what,
Oh gosh,
seven,
you have to do the math.
8 years ago,
Yeah,
I think.
right. So I had
Were they in
8 years ago would
teenagers?
be 16 and 14 maybe,
Okay, yeah.
when I got Lyme disease. So
What was that like for
I
them?
I mean, I know, of course, it was hard seeing someone you love like be in pain, but I think as parents, like it's so great when we can show kids, how do you walk through pain? How
Mm,
do you walk through heartache? How do you walk through all these things? And so I think, I think they would say too that it was, um, yeah, just a great learning experience. And so when they come across things in life, hardships in life, they can look back and being like, oh, remember how mom did that, and how
yeah.
she clung on to God in that and didn't, become bitter and, you know, so I think that it's a, it's a teaching experience. It's a learning experience for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then like your husband, I'm assuming like my husband does like has to pick up, not, I don't want to say pick up in areas we're slacking because I don't think it's like us slacking. I think it's, I just don't know a
Yeah.
nicer way to say it, but you know what I'm saying, when
Yeah,
we can't like be there,
totally.
they have to step in. So what was that like for him? What did you say?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to pick up a lot. And like too, for the kids, I think it teaches them, like they got to know how to like care for
Mm.
someone else,
Yeah, watch their
you
dad care
know.
for you. Yeah.
Mhm. And just like lay his life down really for, a season, and even
Yeah.
still, and I happen to be married to an amazing man who, did it very well,
Mhm.
um, but it's a lot for them,
Mhm.
and I think it's important for them to have community too, like we have this,
Mhm.
I think it's important for them to have one another. So maybe someday that'll be another little offshoot of this,
Mhm.
where the men can talk, because I know
Yeah.
it's hard, and I think it's hard. It can be really hard on marriages for
Yeah.
sure. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I
Yeah.
remember meeting Dave and just being like, "Oh my gosh, he's so nice and so kind to you, and he just loves you so
Yeah.
much." And I think we're only, I don't know how long, maybe like almost 2 years, a year and a half into our marriage. So we're like
Yeah.
newlyweds still, kind of, even though it feels like a long time. Um, but not in a bad way, just in a way of how we get along and stuff.
Feels
But
so long.
it's so like nuts having to um watch them process it through their eyes.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot to, obviously when you guys got married, you didn't have like Lyme yet, but he committed to in sickness and health. And I know with
Hmm.
Andrew, like he didn't know full, I don't think you really know till you're in it and you're seeing that person every day, how to
Yeah.
overcome. But um it's so crazy because I'm sure that because of the way Dave is and you guys' relationship together, it's almost like you see another aspect of God's love for you through your husband.
Oh,
And like just like the willingness to be there for you and help in any way they can. And it's something that it's so beautiful. And I remember thinking when before I was married or with anybody, and after I'd gone through a breakup, I was diagnosed, then gone through a breakup like a year later, and really feeling like how could anyone want to like be with me
mm,
with or take on this pain and like take on like the treatments and figuring it all out. But oh my gosh, I wish now I could go back and be like, there is someone for you who will like love you through it,
hmm.
like Dave has for you and Andrew has for me. I hope that other people can like experience, not just experience that,
Yeah.
but like have that hope too that they'll find someone
Yes.
in
And I
it.
think if you're already married, if you got married when you didn't have Lyme and then you get it, and I think it can be, um, it can either rip a marriage apart or it
Mhm.
can really bring you together in
Mhm.
a special way that you wouldn't have
Yeah.
had you not been through this,
Yeah.
and that's what it's done for us, man. It's like you know, gosh, with all my stuff, like broken pelvis and then that, he's had
Yes.
to like change bedpans. I remember
Oh my
when I was
word.
sometimes I couldn't, with Lyme, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed, and I'd have to go to the bathroom, right? So
Oh.
have to, real talk. Sorry about your
Yeah.
husband. I know your husband's like, don't talk about it. I would have to slide down the side of the bed, and he would hold a pot under
Oh my
me so I
gosh.
could pee, climb back up in bed. And I mean, there's something that does for a marriage.
Yeah.
It's special,
Yeah.
And so,
But that's
yeah,
so important to talk about because there's people who are going to listen to this who have Lyme who like have been there or could imagine from what they've gone through. But then there's other people who like, I mean, Lyme, if you have it, is hard to wrap your head around in general, all the different things that can come with it. But I think it's important for people to know that because, again, it's not like a pity us thing, like this is what we've gone through, but it's just the reality of what a lot of people have to go through. And the more we talk about it and the more we're open, hopefully people will be able to get diagnosed sooner. And even you sharing like your
yes,
crazy symptoms and stuff like that. I don't
yeah.
know.
And I think for the husbands too, it's like, when I just saw like, wow, he did this for me, and
Mm.
it's just a tender thing. And then for him, you know, he is getting to like just show his love to me in these new ways that he wouldn't have,
Mm.
and I'm like, dude, you're earning a lot of points in heaven.
Yeah, for
You're
real.
I always say you're gonna have a mansion
Yeah.
because of me. I'm like, you're welcome. I hope I can come to your mansion.
That is so funny.
So
Please let me visit.
yeah, yeah. So
It
I'm
makes
like,
you
you're welcome.
it makes you want to give it back to them, like give the love back to them too.
Yeah.
Cause like if they ask you to
Oh,
do something or something
totally.
comes up, you're like, oh my gosh, he literally
Yeah.
held a pan while I went to the bathroom. Of course I will go buy you a
Bring you a glass of
coffee.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
my gosh,
Yeah,
it's funny.
yeah,
Yeah, it'd be cool to have him on an episode one day. I really want to do one
yeah.
with Andrew, but
That would be cool.
kind of showing all different aspects of it and hearing their side. Yeah. I'd love that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then on your page we shared some of your like favorite finds with some of the things that help you. I listed them all, but I'd love to hear you talk about some of them, especially the coffee enema, because this
Okay.
is something that I
Yeah.
have seen like people talk about online and I haven't tried it, but I'm dying to know about it. And I'm just gonna put like a little
Okay.
forewarning now, I guess, for people listening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it gonna get graphic?
I mean, we're talking about enemas,
I
so probably
but I didn't
Andrew,
even know
turn off
what it
your
yeah,
turn off
yeah,
your set.
Andrew. So if you're Andrew, turn this off. If you're not, you can keep
Yes.
listening.
That's right. That's right.
That's funny.
Yeah, so this is something I've just recently discovered actually. And I know that, okay, real talk, constipation is a thing for people with Lyme. Some people, and people without Lyme. But for me, it has been an issue. And so it's like toxic, if you're not pooping. So, yeah, I do these enemas and I've been doing them probably like twice a month. And it's like my favorite day of the month.
No way,
Like my favorite
really?
days of the
Because you feel that
because
good?
like literally, like I've never done cocaine, but I feel like this is what it must feel like.
No
So,
way.
yeah. So it's just, it gets everything, like all the toxicity out. I feel lighter. My brain feels clear.
Wow.
It's been a real gift for me. So, yeah, there's a link to the kit I bought, and then the coffee. It's actually made for enemas.
Oh, I didn't know
this
that
coffee.
about the coffee that you
Yeah.
linked. Okay, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
it's called Therapy Roast.
I saw
And
that.
so it's this
Yeah.
So this company, they make regular coffee, but then they also have this one specific for enemas.
Oh my gosh,
So
I did not know that. I thought it was
yeah.
just therapy because I'm like, if you drink it, you feel like calm or something.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
cool that
I
they
don't
make
know.
it
I don't know if you can drink
specific.
it.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah.
That's cool that they
Yeah.
like I don't know, that's very different for a coffee company to make something specific for
know.
that. Wait, so when you do it, because I thought I heard people say they got like heart palpitations and stuff before from the caffeine. So with this blend, is it different then?
Well, I'm not sure about this one. So I can't do caffeine because I get heart palpitations.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not saying this is for everyone at all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying enemas is for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you my story because I know it might affect everyone differently.
Yeah.
But for me, this specific coffee, I don't know that it's decaf. It might be green. It's called green, so maybe it's a green. But it does not affect me poorly. It doesn't give me heart palpitations. Me personally.
Yeah. Okay.
And I am one that doesn't drink caffeine.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that makes sense because I feel like since you don't drink caffeine, it would probably give you some sort of effect if it had caffeine in it. I don't know. That's been my reason for not trying those. So that's why I'm like really interested because I had a cup of coffee for the first time a couple weeks ago and I had insane heart palpitations and anxiety. I was like, what's going on? So this is interesting. Okay.
So I would start with like I do 2 tablespoons. I would start with 1 tablespoon, get, see how that does. Then you can up it to 2 tablespoons. But
okay. Off the record, I'm going to ask you how to actually do it because I don't know, but I just feel like maybe that would be mine.
Totally. I feel like if I could give a tutorial, I would, but
oh my gosh,
that would be super
so funny. There's a girl, I believe she's in Nashville. I know she has Lyme, and I'm pretty sure she's like an enema specialist, if that's a thing. Like I'm pretty sure she has.
Like you go to her to get it done.
I think so.
Like colonic.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of colonic. That's different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that goes like careful using my words. I want to say deeper, but it goes further up in the
body.
Body.
Okay,
intestines.
It
will go
her
further.
Thing. Yeah.
So this isn't as intensive as that.
Okay.
It goes in your like maybe lower intestine or something, but Yeah.
Okay.
This is a scaled down version maybe of that.
Okay. Makes sense. I've been wanting to connect with her because I'm like so interested. So maybe we can have like a Lyme, I Love the Way Lyme get together again at your house and we can just
Yeah.
all do Kalant. No, just kidding.
That's right. Everyone go in their own room and do like an enema.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh. Dave would be like, yeah, not at my house.
Yeah, that's not happening. We'll have to rent a space. We'll rent an Airbnb
There we
to
go.
do. Don't tell anyone.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Leave a review. Okay, so
Yeah.
enemas was one, and then can you tell me about that daily devotional?
Oh yeah, so it's called Streams in in the Desert. It's an old classic.
Okay.
And it just talks about yeah, like you think about streams in the desert, you know, when times are dry and things are rough, and it just has little devotions and verses that speak to that, you know, and it's just been a real godsend for me to read through those on days. They're short, so on days where you're in a lot of pain, you don't want to read a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're just super short. You can have someone else read it to you or something, but I highly recommend everyone getting that. Pain or no pain.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Lyme or no Lyme. It's a great one.
Cool.
So.
And then what are some of the other things that you had? Do you remember?
I printed this out. Let's see. I had, just for me, chlorine was one of the things that affects me poorly. So I have that sodium ascorbate powder that I just put into my bathtub and I spray on myself before I shower, and it helps your body not retain as much chlorine.
I had never heard of that before. Where did you hear, where did you learn that? To spray it on your body?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's so smart.
Yeah, well, I was putting it in my bath, but then I'm like, I have a filter on my shower.
Okay.
But still, like, I want, why not do it? So I was like, I'm just going to put this in a bottle and spray it on me. And I heard that it helps the chlorine, like, not affect you as much. So it's worked for me.
Okay.
I feel better since I've been doing it. And then hot and cold packs for me, I know everyone's different. But for me, like to have a heating pad on me at night, every single night I'm doing that.
Oh my word.
And then when I had the flare-ups, where it's like pain, the cold, like because it reduces inflammation. I'm sure everyone knows that, but yeah.
Nice. I love the headache hat. Have you seen the headache hat?
No, I heard you guys talking about
Yeah,
that.
Lauren and I were talking about it. I saw it online. Like a couple people I follow through I Love the Way Lyme had them, so I ordered it on Amazon, and then when she came to visit, we had like a couple, so we both would just wear them all the time because it feels so good. But you should totally try that, because you know what's funny about it? Since you like when you're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't put in ice because I've had like insane neck and like almost like the back of your skull. I don't know. It's like what it is back there, but that's where I get a lot of my pain. So I'll do heat, but I forgot the ice feels so good sometimes. Anyways, the headache hat, so it's good to wear around your head and over your eyes, but what sometimes we did is pull it all the way down, and it like cools your neck and the back of your head, and it feels so good. Yeah, I'm gonna I Love the Way Lyme needs like a headache hat sponsor here. Just like,
oh yeah, I do that. I love that.
Start doing the interviews.
So it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Okay. I love that, because like the thing about for heat, sorry, my ears are sweating.
Oh, it's okay.
So the heat is like comforting when you put it on, but if you have like a pain going on like you, I feel like cold is going to actually, reduce the inflammation and make you good the rest of the day. But the heat is just comfort while it's on, type of thing. But also these, I don't think I put these on there, but I think I should, is this line, Uncle Harry's. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of them. No. But all super, so another thing for me has been like chemicals, like shampoos and toothpaste and whatnot. Yeah. And the chemicals and makeup. So I found clean makeup, and then all this stuff from Uncle Harry's is so pure. And so I just buy a whole bunch of it, and it's been really wonderful. I got a crush on Uncle Harry, I think. So.
Yeah, maybe I should link that on your page, the Uncle Harry's.
Well, yeah, I'll send you that link.
Yeah, and then
it's got toothpaste, hair gel.
Oh, whoa, everything.
Body soap, all the things. Yeah.
Okay, and then what do you use like a certain brand for the makeup, for clean makeup?
I do. I have different ones for everything. So
Okay.
like, uh, yeah, like for my concealer, I use Air Perez. I found that to where I've been through every
Clean makeup.
concealer, and like I'll be in pain all day if I use like regular makeup.
Holy cow, that's
So
insane. I didn't realize stuff affects you like that.
yeah,
And then with the
I mean
chlorine,
for
can you not go in a pool or anything or a hot tub?
I I do go in the pool
Okay.
because for me like water it's like hard because like water is so healing
I
to me.
know, yeah.
So it's like it's hard. So I'll go in the pool and then just shower off really good afterwards
Yeah.
because it does make me feel good. But the chlorine, yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah,
But I do
yeah.
go in the pool because I'm a water girl.
I
So
know, I love the water helps pain so much. We're with being on the boat, we're
I
on the
know.
ocean, and so on like bad pain days, even if the water was like freezing, Andrew'd be like, "You know what you have to do? Go swim." And at first it was hard to get like myself in, and then I would just like lay there floating. It
Oh
even being on the salt, I was just telling my friend um with Lyme this the other day. We were talking about how like being by the ocean and the salt air like somehow helps the pain not feel as bad. And I'll notice a difference when I
yes.
go back home inland. We have our house is on a lake, but it's obviously not salt water. So maybe I don't know what the difference is. I just know when I go home my body feels heavier, and then when I'm here on the boat in the salt air, my pain, I still have it, but it's like not as bad or
Hmm.
something. It's interesting.
Same. Like when I go to the beach, I feel amazing
Yeah, it's
at the
so
beach.
weird.
It's like I don't know what it is.
I don't
It
know.
is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Imagine if we could
maybe
just
one day
like
we'll have to get
salt spray
a
ourselves.
beach house community.
Yeah,
Oh
there
yeah,
we go.
maybe we can.
That'd
A
be
little
awesome.
lime commune on the beach. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The last question I had was um what's like your experience with the Lyme community, and what's something, I guess it's two questions. What's something that you want to see like be changed in the Lyme community, or like more like positive things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said with Lyme, I find that you run across people who are compassionate and kind and empathetic because pain does that to a person.
Mhm.
I guess it can go either way, but usually in the Lyme community, you find these just beautiful people
Mhm.
that everyone I've met has this desire to want to help others,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Like
so
help other
true.
people in pain and other people who are struggling with this or that. So I love that. And it does show you the gift of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's creating just beauty in people that may or may not have had that before, without
Yeah.
Lyme. So, and I feel like, yeah, what you're doing is so important because when I first got Lyme, I didn't know where to go.
Mhm.
I went on some of these boards and it felt really overwhelming
Yeah.
and negative, like so
Yep.
much negativity, and I get it because it's hard and
Mhm.
it's, you're in pain and all this, but you've got to see the beauty in it. And I think that's what
Yeah.
you're doing is showing the beauty of it and bringing us all together so we can cry together, we can laugh together, we can encourage one another, share tips. Like it's such a gift
Mhm.
what I love the way you lime's doing.
Mhm.
um and needed because yeah, when I first got diagnosed, I didn't have, there wasn't such a thing. And so I love it.
Yeah. It's so crazy because yeah, like what you said about how um pretty much like everyone you meet wants to help people in whatever capacity they're able to.
Yeah.
And I think it's like for me, one of my reasons is because I want the pain to feel worth it. Like I want the
Yeah,
everything that you've gone through to feel worth it. And I
that's
really
right.
personally think that that's what why a lot of other people, they don't want to see other people suffer. So like
Yeah.
obviously want to prevent people from getting to the place that they're in, but then also a lot of us, once you start hearing one story that sounds the same, then five stories that sound the same, then 10, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
we know how prevalent it is and just want people to like know they're not alone. So there's a lot of people like that, yeah. And then with the I love the wee lime stuff, it's been so cool because I couldn't have had, like I said in the beginning of this, I couldn't have had like the dreams I think that I've had for it without people like you and my other
Mm.
friends who we all have had just over time conversations of like what we've needed or what's missing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just a matter of like putting action and doing those things. So without knowing that those were needed and knowing that I have people who will support like these different things and kind of go in it with me in whatever direction,
Yeah.
we wouldn't really be anywhere. So I'm super thankful for you and like the other people who've been there from um the beginning. And like I don't know if you remember that feeling that the I Love the Wee Lime show we had in 2019. I'm pretty sure you went at the
Mm-hmm.
back corner,
Yeah.
and there was like 30 or something of us, and then we had done like the dinner the night before at the Airbnb,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get together at the show. And like that, like I have this big vision board for I Love the Way You Lime, but then I could just slap like that picture of what
Yeah.
those 2 nights were like over it, because that's like where this needs to go. Like people need
Yeah.
community in their location and like wherever they're living, and online obviously to like do calls and stuff like that, but throwing more events like that where people are sharing their stories through art, music, their
Mm-hmm.
books, whatever it is, who have Lyme, and then doing meetups where we can all just like sit around a dining room table, and you don't even have to tell your full story. Like you could just
No.
say snippets and then everyone knows like that
Yeah.
they can relate. Yeah, it's huge.
It's
So
so
I'm excited.
necessary, and it's a part of the healing process, I think.
Mhm.
Being in community and having people around you is part of the healing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to say like it's not possible to heal on your own, but I for me it hasn't been
Right.
possible to like heal on my own. So
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of people I think that still haven't found that community, or
Hmm.
maybe like there's people who I have found through I Love the Way You Lime who don't even know anyone that has Lyme. So
Right.
the more that we grow like the community, the less people I feel like that have to feel alone. So
That's right.
but
I
thank you
love
so
it.
much for doing this podcast and for sharing your story and your gorilla mug and Dave's time.
Oh yeah, I know. Helping me with all the technological difficulties.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
my pleasure. And thank
cool.
you for everything you're doing and bringing us all together. And I'm just so excited, and I'm here for all of it. So I love it, and you're just bringing people together and helping people find healing and love, and
Mm,
just feeling heard and seen, which is what we all want. So
hmm.
yeah.
Thanks. So, if you have enjoyed this episode, I don't know why you wouldn't, because Sam's like a pleasure to listen to. Make sure you check out her social media, and then check out her I Love the Way You Lime page, where you can find her photography linked, her social media linked, her favorite finds with some of those therapeutic things that have helped her get through um, her symptoms. And then she also wrote a really awesome blog post that I believe is called "Yeah, I Will Rejoice," right? On
Yeah.
your page. Yeah. So we'll
Yep.
be sharing that this week on I Love the Way You Lime social media. So be sure to check that out. And okay. Thanks, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.